Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very first session here at Mike and Mind Society. And I'm honestly so happy that you're here and taking the time to be part of this. And today we're actually starting with something very real and very close to many of us. That is why you shouldn't be afraid of public speaking. Okay, so welcome to your very first step here in Mike and Mind Society. So let us first begin with a very simple truth. That is, almost everyone is afraid of speaking in front of others. Bisan katong mga hanas na kaayo or those people nga daghan na kaayong experience of public speaking, trust me, they still feel nervous sometimes. So just like you, nga wala pa kay experience or di pa kayo tanto experiencado in terms of public speaking, the same with you, kanang mga tao nga pro na kailan tawon, they still feel nervous. It's just that they know how to carry sa ilang kaugalingon. So here, it's okay to feel nervous because you're not alone, and more importantly, you don't have to stay afraid. So, this session, it's not about being perfect or impressing anyone. Nga perti gud kay kamusulti. It's about shifting how we see public speaking, not as something scary, but as something powerful, something we can actually learn, enjoy, and grow into. Because whether we like it or not, there would be nagyud times atong life that nga kinahanglan gyud ta mo speak publicly, and it's also very important to know how to carry yourself, especially if you're already a professional, because there would be like job interviews, or if imuhang job description would include talking to a lot of people. Okay, so this session, let's just learn and let's just grow together. But by the way, I actually forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jelly Rose Bajardo, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to share a bit about myself. Okay, before ko malimot. So I'm actually an alumna of LCC. I graduated senior high school here and eventually started my first year of college here in LCC as well, way back. Um, During my high school years, I was the editor in chief of The Voice, which is the official school paper of LCC Basic Education Department. If I'm not mistaken, that was around 2017. And as I clearly remember, daghan kaayong maayo mo host, maayo mo debate, confident speakers from different year levels, both basic education and college department. Like LCC back then was full of witty, sharp, and eloquent students. I used to remember nga nami permi debates or any activities that would include public speaking because daghan gyud kaayong mga hanas manorya before. So Sir Mige would actually have five or more hosts in a single event. Like kada segment ilis-ilis because kuan different faces, different styles, all talented, and it was normal to see variety, energy, and confidence way back. And then when I came back here, at LCC after shifting and transferring schools, I noticed something that or Sir Migi noticed as well, that it felt like the culture of confident student speakers was starting to fade. I'm not saying nga wala na yung mga perti kayo, however, the confidence, it's starting to fade. And we knew that LCC still has it. Daghan gid kayong mga otokan dire, mga perte. It's just that most of us now might need that little push, that safe space, and that encouragement to get out of our comfort zones. So that's why we're here. That's why you're watching this video now. Okay, so moving forward, I just wanted to remind you that this club exists to help bring back that culture of expression, leadership, and confidence with no pressure. So kitang tarandire, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, no judgment at all. So whether you're confident or completely new to speaking, this is your space to explore. So let's go. Okay, so let's start. The number one is remember everyone gets nervous. So even the most experienced hosts and speakers still feel it, just like what I've mentioned earlier. That familiar flutter in the stomach before ka mo step up to speak. It doesn't matter if you've spoken in front of 10 people or 1,000, bisag unsa pa na siya kadaghan, the nerves are always there. Di yun na siya mawala. So, eh, like kanang mamugnaw imong kamot, mura kag kalibangon, murag sakit imong tiyan, murag daghan kay kang ma-feel nga di nimo siya ma-explain. But that's actually not a bad thing. Nervousness doesn't mean you're weak or unprepared. It actually means you care. It's your body's way of saying, hey, it matters. Importante niya itong gibuhat. Because to tell you frankly, if that particular speech or that activity nga nagstorya ka or nag-publicly speak ka, if it doesn't matter to you, wala kay pakialam if masayop ka or unsay magawa sa imong baba. Because it doesn't matter. However, kung nakuyawan ka, it means that this is something important nimo nga kinahanglan meaningful ang magawa sa akong baba because it would affect me, the audience, or whatsoever. So basically, your body is preparing you to do something meaningful. But remember, the goal here, dili to be fearless. Dili ang kanang di na gyud ka mahadlok bisag asa ka iatubang. No, that's not the goal. The goal here is no matter unsa kakakuyaw, you have to show up. So no matter unsa ka nervyos imong na feel dira, it's to show up anyway. So to feel the nerves and speak through them anyway bisan unsa na nakakuyaw. So let's be honest. Kitang tanan makuyawan, me, I get nervous. Sige oy, bisan kanang mga oral ra kanang sa classroom, makuyawan ko ana per me. And even filming this or recording this video, there's that little pressure inside to get it right. So kanang ma-pressure gid ka nga kanang I need to do this right. But I'm doing it anyway because it matters to me, and I know that learning to cope up or kanang showing up bisan unsa nakakakuyaw matters to you too. That's why you joined this club because you wanted to overcome that. So yes, always remember everyone gets nervous. Okay, the second one is the audience is on your side. Diba? So, let's admit it or not. One of the reason why makuyawan ta mo sultis atubangan, it's because we're thinking the worst sa mga naminaw nato. We kuan kanang atong pagtuong hala, gabantay ra ni sila masayop ko, kanang they're just here to judge me. So, something we often forget that people aren't judging you the way you think they are. Like, naay times nga imurang huna-huna mo'y gaona, ikaw ra mismo mo'y ga-discourage sa imong kaugalingon. Most of the time, your audience is actually just listening. Like, nara na sila because interesado sila makadungog nimo, interesado sila unsay imong isulti, with curiosity, with interest, and some are even cheering for you quietly. So, yes, mo na ibutang sa inyong utok every time mo sulti mo sa atubangan. Naglantaw sila ninyo because they're curious, they're interested sa imong gisulti, and some of them are quietly rooting for you. So, we tend to assume they're scanning every word, waiting for a mistake. But no, it doesn't work that way. Although dili malikayan nga nagyoy mo boo if masayop ka or anything like that. But ay gunahunaan nang masayop ka because you're still doing your kanang ga-deliver pa man ka pa man ka nasayop unya na problema if masayop ka, 'di ba? But always remember they're not there to criticize. They're they're there to connect. Mao ra gyud na siya. Naa sila dira to connect, not to criticize. And if you pause, stumble a little, or lose your words, most won't even notice. Like, bisag ila kang ibu or bash, mulabay ra na, muagi ra na. And if they do, they likely relate because they've been there too. So, like, kana sila, aware po na sila nga, ikaw may nasa tubangan, ikaw gyoy mas perte, di ba? Ingon ana. So, mao na siya ibutang sa inyong kaugalingon nga if masayop man gani ka, your audience would relate to it as well. Nga, sila po, there are parts sa ilang kinabuhi nga nasayop sila deliver sa ilang mga words. So, always remember that you're human and that makes you more relatable if masayop ka and not less. So, here's something that I've learned from experience. So, when you're relaxed and enjoying the moment, the audience feels it too. So, kung ikaw kampante kay kang musulti imong mga audience is mao po na ilang ma-feel towards you like, wow, may gani siya confident, yung gani siya mo kuan mo deliver. If nakuyawan ka, masamot ka nilang i-judge because mag-stutter na ka and samot magpadaog ka sa imong kakuyaw, samot or kanang the higher the tendency nga malimot na kas imong isulti and di nakaka-focus. So always remember that energy is contagious, and so if you're kind to yourself while speaking, your audience will mirror that kindness back to you. So just a pro tip as a friend, just speak like you're talking to a kind friend. Nga kanang namino akong ang amiga nga di guguan niya i-judge man sayop man ko sa madili. But aim to avoid mistakes. So just chill, relax, just enjoy the moment, okay? Not someone you're trying to impress, just someone you genuinely want to connect. So when you do that, you'll find that pressure softens and your message comes out clear. Let's move on to the third one, which is mistakes are okay. So this is in connect ra ni siya. So in connection to the one we've talked about, which is the second one, kani siya, let's get this out of the way. So no speech is perfect. Even the best speakers, those we look up to, the ones we think are flawless, they mess up too. Muna siya hinumdumin ninyo. They forget lines, trip over words, lose their thoughts for a moment. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. Why? Because kanang audience nga galantaw nimo, wala na sila kabalo sa imuhang speech word per word. Like, kana imong gisulat, hala, nalimot ko. Like, nalimot ko isa ka sentence. Nalimot ko isa ka word. Mabantayan ginis akong mga audience. No. Wala sila kabantay. Nakalimot man kas imong speech. How much more kanang mga audience nga wa man na sila kakita sa imong gisulat nga speech. So just go with the flow because public speaking isn't about delivering some robotic, memorized script. Di na siya kanang murag na kag AI paminawon nga hala. It's about being clear, being real, and being present with your audience. So just connect with your audience. Diba, dagan kayong mga vlogger, content creators nga bisag walay substance ang ilang mga gipang tackled, but to they know how to connect with their audience, kabalo sila modalas inang kaugalingon. That's what people remember. Sometimes your voice will shake, sometimes you'll say or need to pause, which I normally do kanigay record ko videos ko ga but it I'm like, but you're not judging me, so that's okay. Even you pwede na siya. I'm not saying nga, buhatan na ninyo per me, but if ever, di ninyo malikayan nga to pause, to say, that's okay. What matters is that you keep going, that you breathe, smile through it, and remember why you're speaking in the first place. So, I'm speaking here because I wanted to share this with you. So, regardless if my kanang akong magipangsulti is not flawless, it's okay. It doesn't matter as long as I'm able to express myself and you learn bisagamay from it. So, again, don't I just wanted to remind you that you don't lose your credibility when you make a mistake. You lose it only when you give up on your message. So kung masayop ka diha gamay, you don't lose your credibility but you will lose it. If muhunong ka, mo walk out ka kay nasayop ka. Kanang di na nang ka mo push through kay gamay ra kay to mong sayop and then wag siya na notice sa audience. So even if you fumble, just keep going because that's the real power is. Okay, so you're more capable than you think. So usipot pasabot ani. 'Di ba, we tend to be so hard on ourselves, no? Sometimes we replay every small mistakes in our head, every pause, every word we wish we said differently. Like, magbaso na tahala na sa ko, I wish I did better. I wish kani akong gibuhat. May ingon ani. To na ako pag-deliver akong speech, akong unsa pa to dira. But here's the truth, we are often our own worst critics. Like, you're not, ikaw mismo ang dili kind sa imong kaugalingon. What you feel in the inside, like you're nervous, you're unsure, you're shaky, might actually come across as composed and clear to your audience. Like, kana imong na-feel dira, it doesn't kanang dili po na siya ingon nga kana gyud mo'y nakita sa audience even if feel nimo nga wa gyud to'y barog imong speech. However, sa audience nga galantaw, like samot na if unexperienced imong mga audience, and then like or kana ra yung mga kusog ra gyud mo appreciate, it would come to them like differently. So you might think nga you didn't do well, like what to'y angay, but others might be thinking, wow, kalami, kawiti, kaflang. That or kanang it really took courage para mabuhat to niya. So, confidence doesn't come from getting it perfect. It comes from showing up again and again, from learning each time and realizing nabuhat yun ako siya at last. So, if you're doubting yourself or need ni mo ni, this is your sign. You are enough even as you learn. Like, bisag ing ana hinay imong progress, but at least na kay progress, you're learning, you're here, you wanted to overcome that fear, you wanted to learn something because na kay goal. So that's mao na siya importante, you're doing something para ma-achieve nimo ang isa ka butang. So you don't need to be the best speaker in the room. You just need to be willing and open to grow because I just notice or nakoy nabantayan nga 'di ba na yung mga tao nga bright kaayo and then di na sila mutuon kampante kay sila nga bright sila, and napoy mga tao nga dili kay sila bright, however diligent sila, and then very much willing to learn, that they just love learning and then they love studying, and then na-notice nako nga mas mo successful patong mga diligent ones nga dili kayo gyud grabe kautukan because it matter man gyud ang attitude and um how you do things. So the same with public speaking, doing little steps or doing little progress is still progress, and that's already more than enough. So kanisha, it gets easier with practice. So I can still remember when I was in elementary and my sister, kung ano siya kanang high school siya, like science, and then kuan siya kanang take oration and like flang siya kay science ba siya niya. Ako kay di mo ko porty sa di mo ko porty, and then kanang maglantaw ko niya bala murag sa daan lagi ni siya musulti murag ing ana gani, and then murag ako pong hinahinay og kanang practice akong gagalingon nga hala ganahan ko ato the way siya musulti. So iyahang kanang mga piece sa una niya sa kanang oratorical kanang ako na siyang basa-basahon. So nya kanang per me gud na niya maglantaw mag-practice na siya sa balay kanang sa iyahang kanang kanang iyang buhaton ba like kanang sa hosting ana mag-practice siya. So maglantaw ra ko ana niya, and then ako pod if like wa ko gibuhat or like wala siya, so wa ni gigamit iyahang kuan, iyahang katong iyang papel nga gina-memorize, ako po na siyang basa-basahon. So that public speaking is not just for the naturally gifted. It's not something you're simply born with. Although naa man giuban nga may na gyud kay sila. However, mas daghan gyud tong nurtured. Like it's something you build like any other skill. Like ka practice ka permi ka gabasa permi ka ga kuan kanang ga explore sa horizon or permi ka kanang mo learn og mga butang or mo mag-practice. So the more you speak, the more natural it feels. So di gyud ko perti mo sulti. It's just that I'm trying to speak like kanang perme para maanad akong kaugalingon, and the more you practice, the less you panic. That's why I've realized over time nga mas permi na ko siya gibuhat, mas komportable na nako siya buhaton, and then kato like akong hinumduman sa akong kagalingon wala man gani ko nahadlok ato bata pa ko nag declamation ron sa pana diha, how much more karon na mas gulang na ko pwede na ako sila sumbagon og magkuan. No, what I'm trying to say is that kanang try ra good like si kanang imong balik-balikon ang usa ka butang, and then especially with speaking, you get used to it. Like mas komportable na gyud ka buhaton siya, and then once you're comfortable doing it, naturally it follows nga kanang murag smooth na kaayo ang imong pag-deliver sa imong speech. So it doesn't become less important. So kanang if permi na kagasulti, it kanang di siya ingon nga hala katong ikaw 100 times nga speech ka is less important compared to the first one, but it does become less intimidating. So kay naanad naman ka keber wa no inana siya. So and the best part, you don't have to master everything today because this is just our first session and you're just watching me or you're just watching this video, but you just need to take the next step. So, diba, we just have to grow together. Inana na siya. And then, there is I just wanted to mention that here in our club, here in Mike and Mind Society, every activity you attend, every videos you watch, every single mic moment counts as progress. Dili jud need nga like ikaw yung makapadaog sa LCC sa mga competitions like provincial, regional, or anything like that. But holding a single mic, it and then you're not the kind of person nga mo permi gyud mo go out or like kanang tig storya gyud like hosting an event here sa school. It's already a progress. So little by little you start to feel that shift, so it's kanang less fear but more freedom. So yeah, karon galantaw pa mo ani nga video, but next time we kan nga atong mabalaan kamo na day nag-host sa acquaintance or anything like that. And then the last thing anina session that I want you to remember is that your voice matters. So someone out there needs to hear your story, your ideas, your perspective, and what takabalo ma-inspire pud sila. Like you started from someone nga dili confident nga ultimo pagtindog sa atubangan, pag-report, makuyawan, and then here comes ikaw na yung mga host sa mga dinagong activities like intramurals, Mr. and Miss LCC. So, 'di ba? It's something na maka-inspire. So, someone out there just needs to hear your story, kanang naay mga tao nga feel nimo ba ikaw walay pulos imong gistorya but para sa uban, but naa ay mga tao nga nanginahanglan ato. Like your perspective, your idea, the way you say it, there is power in your voice. Always remember that. Not because it's the loudest in the room, but because it's yours. Like imo na like dako gyud kaayog impact ang kanang voice or kanang unsa imong isulti. Like wala maybe wa pa nimo na siya na-realize right now. However, I just wanted to let you know that your voice matter. So, public speaking isn't about impressing people, but it's about expressing who you are. So, just speak with your heart, speak with purpose, and speak knowing that what you say might just be what someone else needs to hear. So, 'di ba? So, yeah, so this is the last item nga I wanted to discuss for today, but I just wanted to say that I'm really proud of you for being here, for choosing to grow. It's just the beginning, and I really can't wait to see you rise one mic moment at a time. Okay, so the closing thought is let's just begin together. So, before we end this first session, I just wanted to leave you this that you don't need to be perfect to start. Like, maugay nga practice ka, diba? That's the essence nga kuan. Kay, you wanted to learn, you wanted to grow, but you're here, you're starting, kanang pag-start nimo, you just have to be willing. So here in Mike and Mind Society, we're not here to compete. We're not measuring who's the loudest, the most confident, or the most experienced. We're here to support each other, to learn together, and to celebrate the courage it takes to simply speak up. So ganan po ko maka-learn with you, and so if your voice shakes, if nakuyawan mo, if you crack a little, or even if you forget the line, always remember, take it from me that that's okay. And what matters the most is that you showed up, and that alone is already brave. Always remember that showing up is bravery already. And then so let this be your first mic moment. Take that first step, however small it feels. You've got this, and we've got you. Thank you.